What makes the perfect taco?
A lot of people say a good salsa, but I think it's a properly seasoned meat. High quality protein, it has great texture, it's moist.
I feel like a perfect taco, it comes down to the tortilla and the meat.
I like it when the meat is really seasoned well. I like the salsa, so not only one salsa, I like both salsas. Mike could put me onto that. And then guac on top.
I put them onto the good stuff. Red salsa, spicy salsa with hints of green. Hey, it's your favorite taquero here with my beloved sisters. And this is the 5th episode of GuacnChippies. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to give us a like, subscribe, share it to your friends.
Imagine serving tacos for the elite and then they have you do them out of mermaid. Recently, there's been a conspiracy theory going around on TikTok that the elite have dinner parties and they just eat mermaids. I think it's bizarre.
That's crazy.
They eat mermaid.
It started going viral on TikTok where somebody retold the story. Essentially, this person emailed somebody and then they told them that they had to sign an NDA and they went to this dinner party. And in that dinner party, they had like about 20 guests or 15 to 20 guests. And in the center of the table, they had something covered, which was a mermaid. And they had somebody cooking it. And so then they just uncover it and everybody got a piece. But the person who had never seen this before, he ended up like standing up and didn't want to participate in that. Eventually, he ended up leaving. But, he did sign an NDA, allegedly. And they're like, nobody's gonna believe you. And then there's been other conspiracy theories in where they do say that they've enjoyed like having the mermaid, but I personally think it's very bizarre and wild. I don't know if mermaids do exist or not, but they do say that the ocean is very mysterious and there's a lot of things that have not been explored or found, and maybe there's a reason for that.
I think mermaids exist.
You shouldn't ask me that. They do exist.
They do exist.
The only reason
I
would feel that, the only reason I would feel that mermaids exist is because of all the stories like The Little Mermaid, and then tales that historians have like documented about finding in their cells when they would voyage a lot through the sea. But I mean, I've never seen one, so I wouldn't know. I don't think I would be able to cater a party and serve mermaid, because to me it's like half human, half fish, and it would go against what I believe. How would you feel about serving mermaid tacos?
Would you do it, Michael?
Would you serve mermaid tacos?
Well, I don't think mermaids exist, but how do you think it tastes? Like, is it fishy or is it meaty?
One of the posts described it like Wagyu steak, but at the same time like seaweed. Like they said the consistency was very good.
So it's a bridge between fish and meat?
Yeah, and I think the reason why they eat it is because allegedly mermaid meat will give them knowledge and power.
That's right.
Okay, see, so now you went from like conspiracy theory to like a superhero story. Knowledge and power from eating food.
Allegedly. I mean, technically food does give you nutrients. And it's just what is alleged out there. I don't know.
It went from potentially being believable to now it's just it's just fake.
Have you seen the tuna can? And how it has the chicken of the sea has a mermaid logo?
Oh, it does.
How about if the tuna we've been eating this whole time?
I know, the tuna can's
is mermaid meat?
That
crazy. Is mind blowing.
Low-key?
I rather not know.
Look, you should not tell me. If I ever saw a mermaid, I think I would be best friends with one. I don't know.
Wouldn't they try to eat you?
I don't know. I mean, if they're...
Well, you watch all the mermaid shows.
Yeah, but they don't eat them. They don't eat us. They only do so if we're attacking them. Or they only, like the sirens ones, they only seduce the men if they really want to, or they want, I don't know, to kill them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they would kill you. I feel like they would probably... I don't know how it would work. I don't know how you can coexist.
But the show...
If they would kill humans, I think it's because humans have harmed them if they were real.
Yeah, the show that I watched, basically the humans used to kill them like fish. So maybe, oh my, maybe they are real, because how does a director come up with this? I don't know.
How would you come up with this? And then also, like, I feel like I wouldn't want them to be discovered, because then they'll probably end up in laboratories being experimented on. So I would rather them just be able to roam around, have their freedom wherever they have it.
And you know what's crazy, in the show, they do show that the government took them and put them in tanks. So
Yeah, and the conspiracy videos were talking about how when he left the dinner table, he walked around the mansion. And then he went towards like the kitchen, and during this area they had like a door, and it was filled with all these tanks of like mermaids just
That's
swimming
cool.
there. No, that's not cool. That is
that's not cool. About this, I think people are just gonna take it as a conspiracy, just because people already know that aliens exist and they don't care, so they're not gonna care about mermaids.
You know, it's interesting though, when you Google these things, like, it hasn't really necessarily been 100% set in stone that aliens are real, or 100% set in stone that these creatures exist.
Do you think the government's hiding it from us?
Another TikTok that I did see of this person who claims to have seen the mermaids, he said that the reason most humans wouldn't know of these mermaids' existence is because when we don't go out in the ocean, we just stay in our own communities, and we just Google, and we're just told and educated by whatever they want to teach us, and not necessarily what we're seeking for. So if there was any possibility that, you know, dragons, let's just say, or giants, they even say giants are real, exists, we wouldn't really know, because we don't go looking for them. So if we went out to the sea and looked for them, maybe we'll find them.
That makes sense.
It doesn't at all.
It does make sense.
Yes, because
When
you've never
you-
been in the ocean. You've never even
haven't
gone
even been on
But
a
people
cruise.
do.
fishing.
But people do.
Yeah, the fishermen, ask fishermen.
Okay, so
They say that they
But-
they
actually
don't have cell
claim
phones where they can record something.
they
like,
some videos
oh,
have surfaced.
conveniently enough.
Some
right?
some videos have
Conveniently enough.
surfaced where they have like
There's no clear footage of someone, like, if you see a mermaid or something amazing, obviously you're gonna pull out your phone and start
But
recording
nobody
it.
believes.
Like, if you record it, like, what is there not to believe?
So if I sent you a
They
video
can say it's
of
AI.
somebody doing it, you're gonna believe?
Well, yeah, send
He's
me a
not
video
gonna
that's
believe
actually
me.
clear,
I don't think you'll believe them.
because there isn't one.
There's-
Well, the
videos out
day
there.
that mermaids do come, and if they're real, I'll rub it in my brother's face. Be like, I told you they were real.
Where do you guys think is the worst place to start a truck business or a restaurant business?
Anywhere.
Really?
Anywhere and everywhere. To start, absolutely. Food industry in general has one of the highest failure rates. Most businesses fail within the first year. I think it's something like 70 or 80%. And then after 5 years, another 90% end up failing. You are guaranteed to fail if you start a food business. And there's a lot of mom and pop shops that are very small. They've been doing it for so many years, and after so many years of operating, they're still, the only reason why they are able to stay in business is because they're not taking in their salary, and they're just paying, it's taking up all their time, and they're just meeting expenses like the bills, utilities, etc. And so just because you're able to keep the lights on doesn't mean that it's a successful business. Any food business in any city, 100% is guaranteed to fail. So if you're looking at what areas would be bad, that every area is bad.
Damn, even the rich area?
Yeah, and for those, like, the overhead is even higher. You go to wealthier areas, the rent, everything's gonna be more expensive. So more capital is needed to start. If you end up finding like a place that is high traffic, there's benefits to that, but in general, most people should not start a food business.
What do you think, Jocelyn?
Well, I remember seeing a video in where they say that banks don't usually give loans to people who are starting in the food industry. And I think Ismail also discussed it. But I think if the food is good, and then you're in a very populated city, when there's a way, there's a will. Opening up a restaurant, let's say in Victorville, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if it's harder to get people to go to that restaurant. It's possible with the power of social media and exposure, but I think when you're in the city, especially if it's a walkable city, people could just walk in throughout the day, and if it's good, they're going to leave a review, and that will help your business succeed.
What's your guys' favorite Mexican dish?
Tacos, for sure. You make it too easy.
Outside of tacos!
What would you rather eat? If you could only pick one Mexican dish to eat every single day,
so hard.
and you can't have anything else, what would you pick?
That's very hard. If I had to pick something other than tacos,
No, it's not hard. Like, it's tacos.
No.
Like, what other dish could you possibly...
I cannot eat sopes every day. I love sopes, especially the ones that my mom has made this past year.
Okay.
I also love burritos, and I feel like with burritos you get both, like your carb, so you get your beans, your rice, and then the meat. If you want to add some avocado too and salsa, so you get like a little balanced meal. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's kind of hard to pick. I don't think I can pick just one dish.
I love tinga.
Oh yeah, she loves tinga. How many tostadas did you eat when we went to Mexico?
20.
20 tostadas?
I don't remember.
I believe
But
it.
it was around there or less.
So my tia Sara, our tia makes tostadas de tinga every time Lilo visits. And one time I think they had like an inside joke where they were making fun of her because of the amount her and her cousin ate. Did Diana eat the same amount? Or?
I think so. Like, I think I ate more than her though. Like, she stopped herself, but I ate more. But yeah.
That's insane, 20. I don't. Where?
You could eat 20 tacos.
No. I think the most tacos I can eat would probably be around 5, depending on the size of tortillas. And I never really eat 5.
Okay, the small ones that we do.
The most that I usually eat are 4. 3 to 4. And if I didn't have restrictions and I had not ate, maybe I could do 5. But anything more than that, I think it's too much for me.
Okay, what dish do you think is underrated in the Mexican industry?
Beans.
Just beans?
Yeah, beans. Because you can have beans. You can have frijoles with queso, crema, chile, cebolla, with a caldito, and just mix it up and eat it. And
Underrated. I'm not sure if there is an underrated dish. I think Mexican food is properly rated. Some things are overrated for sure. I think it's easier to say overrated.
I think pambazos.
I love pambazos.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
you
every
never
dish,
eat
like, people-
it like often.
Well, because you fry it.
Horchata, overrated, underrated?
Horchata?
Overrated for sure.
I don't think it's overrated.
I think it's overrated.
It is overrated.
Like, people kind of like look at horchata as, oh, this is a holy grail. This is like the
they
greatest
love
thing
it.
ever. It's amazing.
I
But
don't like it.
most people don't know how to make it. And when you make it properly, you can't really have glasses and glasses and glasses of it because it's like, it's overbearing. It's way too sweet.
Well, I like it, but I don't know. I think it's because it's milk in it, right? They have milk. I think that is like only for not even summer. I don't even consider horchata for summer.
Like, a properly rated drink would be like coffee. Right. It's properly rated because everybody loves it and it's actually good.
Not everybody loves it. I've met people who don't like coffee.
The majority of people do, and it's like, it's something you would consume on a daily basis. Like, you guys are over there shaking your heads, but you drink coffee every day.
Yeah, I drink coffee every day, but that's because I like it. Is Jamaica overrated or underrated?
Rated.
I think it's underrated.
Underrated?
Oh wait,
I actually agree.
Yes, I'm getting
with
confused
him.
with rated and underrated.
People are like, oh, it's just so easy to make, like, and they don't order it. It's nutritional and delicious. If you didn't include all the sugar, it has more health benefits than the horchata does. Because it's actually from a plant. It's like a tea. Agua de fresa. Overrated or underrated?
I think it's properly rated. Like no one cares for it. Like it's just there. Like, if you have to drink it, no one complains about it. If it's not part of the selection, no one cares for it. So I think it's properly rated.
Watermelon, agua de sandía.
Oh, I love it. Wait.
I think underrated.
Yeah, agua de sandía for sure is one of my top. When done properly, agua de sandía is phenomenal, and I don't think it gets enough praise. So for sure, it's underrated.
Agua de pitaya.
I don't know what that is.
I tried it for the first time,
Yeah.
and one time we went to do taco tastings, and I would say it's underrated.
What type of fruit is that?
Yeah, nobody knows
like-
about it, so like I wouldn't even think it's.
I like it.
Like it looks like the passion fruit that you like to eat.
I know the fruit, but I've never had it before, so I don't know how to rate it.
I didn't bring you some.
No.
It was good.
Yeah, I really
I
enjoyed
was
it.
I
was
was a
surprised.
little stunned by how delicious it was.
So what do you rate it? 1 to 10. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think it's one of my favorite aguas.
It beats watermelon.
Yeah, I think so.
It was refreshing. I have to try it again, but so far I would say 9.
Wait, that's crazy then. You drank a lot of sugar. Because those fruits aren't supposed to have a lot of flavor. Whenever I eat them, they taste like water. I'm not joking. Like, unless they use the yellow one, that one was really sweet for me. But it was good. How do you guys feel about Mexicanos adding a lot of sugar to the aguas frescas?
Aguas frescas are juices.
Okay, how do you feel about the amount of sugar?
Well, I feel like the only way around it is just offering seasonal aguas. If you buy watermelon, just make sure that it's in the season so that it's sweet. Same thing with mango, because we've done agua de mango before when it's not in season, and I feel like it has a different flavor. Another thing you can try is doing honey, but I feel like it changes the flavor.
You're not gonna
Eating
find
a
a juice
normal
that
sandia. Do you put sugar in it when taking the first bite of it?
I put tahini.
Exactly. So
I don't get your point, Lilo.
no, you
She's
guys,
just talking just to talk.
you don't get it. Like
Yeah,
you're
get
putting
it, but
a
like,
lot of sugar in the drink, but okay, why don't you do it when you're eating a normal sandia? Doesn't it concern you? Guys!
I was gonna say that.
This week, I decided to combine a simple guacamole with La Victoria salsa. It's like a medium spice green salsa. Francia Raisa is an actress, and she collaborated with La Victoria. She came up with her own recipe of salsas because every time she would go visit her friends, and she would bring them salsa. And her mom taught her how to make salsa and cook some Latino dishes. Fun fact about Francia Raisa, she is El Cucuy's daughter. So one of the famous, well-known radio personalities. My dad would listen to him when he would be driving. El Cucuy de las Mañanas. He had a really famous show. I think it was in el canal La Raza, ¿no? La Raza 97.9.
Yeah, that's still their catchphrase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
I think I listened to it. I ran into it like a couple days ago, and I was like, huh, they still have the same phrase.
I selected that salsa because I wanted to give it a try. It doesn't have her name on the bottle that I bought, but it's the closest that I found. I believe she was in one of the events that we catered to. It was a while ago.
She's an actress for the remake of How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Father. Yeah,
I wouldn't even say it's a continuation of the show, but it's entirely different. Or it's like the second part. I don't even know how to say it. Because a sequel, you have to watch it to understand. Watch How I Met Your Mother. If you watch that show, the next one is How I Met Your Father.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in that show. And like I started watching it just because it was like, oh, like I was a fan of How I Met Your Mother. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to like this new one. And when I saw her, I was like, oh, this woman is actually beautiful. But her character, super promiscuous. I was so sad at the fact that a Mexican woman that's playing a role in that sitcom or whatever it's called is doing such a promiscuous role, like every single scene.
Mexican and Honduran.
But it's kind of cool, like
Yeah, her dad is.
We get to cater and be exposed to people like this.
I think I might have seen some clips when she was in The Secret Life of the American Teenager. She was also in Grownish and Bring It On, All or Nothing. And I mean, it does suck that sometimes when minorities do get. I mean, she is American, but she does have ancestors that come from Latin America. I do think that it sucks.
She's like us.
Yeah, I do. I
That's
think
why
it sucks
I was like,
that
oh
they
man, this is cool.
don't get like main character roles.
Yeah, big
and they're
roles.
always like on like a side character. So it would be nice to see her in.
She's not in that show.
bigger
Is
show.
not a side character. She's a main. She's one of the main characters. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so, but like I said, if a Mexican American does get, or you know, someone who has Hispanic descent gets a major role, it's never. It's always portrayed in a negative way, and in this case, very promiscuous. Mm-hmm. Another Mexican Latina was the one from Suits. You guys don't know her, but I think she won awards too. She played like a major role, but she actually looks black. But I think she's Dominican.
Zoe Saldana? Or
No.
I don't know.
Jessica Pearson. That was a good character. Resembles a strong character, a strong woman in a position of power. She's a lawyer, corporate lawyer. She's CEO. She's like the head of her firm. Right, that is the limelight that I would like to see Mexican American actors be in. Not such a promiscuous role like the lady. What was her name? Francois.
Francia Raisa.
Oh, Francia. But yeah, we met her at one of my clients.
Do you actually remember her now that I pointed you out?
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if that was her.
I never actually know them until Dawson
she
pointed
was
out.
shorter. I feel like when I see them on TV, they look taller.
But it was.
In person, they just are usually smaller than me.
Yeah. Most people in the big screens are very short people.
Yeah, they're smaller than us. I mean, they're maybe around Lilo's height, but they're usually smaller than.
Except for, you know.
Oh, yeah. So Francia Raisa is also known for being Selena Gomez's best friend, at least for some time. There were some rumors that she lived with her, and they also had like a moment where they had a fallout, and that's why she came up with the slogan, "No beef, just salsa." And Selena wore one of the shirts that said "No beef, just salsa," and supposedly they were never mad at each other. But essentially, there's conspiracy theory going around that I recently saw like the start of January on Conspiracy TikTok. And it claims that, unfortunately, the organ that was donated to Selena was not from Francia. And this is all alleged. It's a conspiracy. It's a sad conspiracy, too, and a very creepy one. Sadly, in 2017 of September, a young woman known as Kanika Jenkins, she was 19 years old at the time. She was found in the freezer at Crown Plaza Hotel in Chicago. Her death was declared accidental, and she died of hyperthermia. She also had alcohol intoxication, and she had taken a drug that is usually known for treating epilepsy, but you need to be prescribed in order to take that. And that was normal levels, so nothing out of the ordinary. Before she was found in the freezer, her friends had left her down in the lobby, so because she forgot her phone in one of the rooms where they were partying. And her friends went to go get her phone and some other stuff, and they left her in the lobby. So I don't know, we don't know this information because, you know, they left her there alone. She started roaming around, going through other levels of the hotel, and she was seen multiple times through surveillance footage going into kitchens, coming in and out of hallways, going into the men's bathroom. And you could clearly see that, you know, there was something going on with her because she wasn't walking straight. She was tumbling. It's very sad. For some reason, she ends up in this freezer. The cameras did not capture her walking into the freezer, and they don't capture anybody coming out or in that area. The kitchen where she was in the freezer was actually closed off. It wasn't being used. The freezer was allegedly left on because there was this restaurant that was opening up, or a restaurant around that was going to need the space. And allegedly, this is how Selena comes into the story. The actor Bill Murray and his brother opened up a restaurant. They opened it in Crown Plaza Hotel, Candy Shack. And essentially, they're alleging that Bill Murray is relative to Selena, so he's like an uncle. I didn't find any information of him being an uncle. I found that they were just like co-workers and things like that. Maybe they took that information off too because, you know, the internet is blowing things out of proportion. Maybe, like you said, this is just a conspiracy theory. And I think that in order for you to donate an organ, there's like a process that happens for that. Like you can't just keep it in the freezer in the body, I would say. But she did have one shoe off and like a little wound or cut. And the hotel didn't respond right away to the situation. So the mom went to ask the receptionist and people, like, hey, can you guys check the footage to see if you guys can see my daughter? And nobody checked it. She called 911. And I heard the whole conversation, the phone conversation. In the conversation, the police was kind of dismissive, like, oh, she's probably in a hotel room with other people, wasted. So, like, they didn't really take priority in general in the case because she was intoxicated or she had been drinking. And they were like, oh, she'll probably show up later. But I didn't know this. Apparently, for anybody watching, you could report someone missing and it doesn't have to be 24 hours. You just have to be like very persistent because officers don't really take the case right away. Or I feel like I mean, sometimes it might make sense because people do end up like leaving, especially if they're adults, and eventually they find them. But, you know, I think in the first few hours is very crucial, especially if the person has been taken, because that's when the most evidence and everything is available. And sadly, since that place was closed off, not a lot of staff would go in there. And eventually, later on that day, somebody did go, and that's how they found her body. But it was a kitchen that was not being used. The restaurant was being rented, and so that's why they started alleging that potentially Selena's uncle or co-worker was the one who was involved in this situation. Other theory was that her stepdad was part of the investigation case, but I didn't find anywhere in the web suggesting that he was a detective or anything. So I thought,
with what purpose would they be involved?
Because the organ, the kidney, would have gone to Selena. So instead of Francia giving it to Selena, it would have been
or whatever that's called,
the girl. And another thing that came into mind is Selena did an interview in where she was like, the host asked her a certain question and she was, yeah, the girl who gave me the kidney. So instead of saying my friend, because Francia didn't really want her to, she didn't want to be known for doing that as much, but she could have said, you know, my friend. She didn't have to say the name, and everybody knew by that time that Francia had given the kidney because of the pictures on Instagram that Selena posted and articles that came out in the surface. And so that hotel too allegedly has been known for trafficking and harvesting. Nothing has been proven though. So that's why there's a lot of conspiracies. And sadly, there's this YouTuber, Zach TV, who actually died a year after. He was covering the case extensively in that area because he's from Chicago. So this YouTuber, Zach TV, he was known for going around interviewing different and like the street lifestyle of the gang activities in Chicago. And so one day he was just driving and they shot him in the neck and the head. So they blamed it on gang activities or things that happened in Chicago. But he was known for going out and doing those kinds of things. So people are saying that he probably passed and it wasn't because of gang activities, that somebody wanted to silence him. So there's like a lot. It's very deep how they were able to tie it. I don't know who comes up with these theories, but it's crazy. It really gave me the chills, especially after watching all, you know, the clips and the news and the case, hearing the phone call of her mom calling 911. And it is just very chilling. And I hope, you know, obviously that isn't the case, but it sucks. And so he passed away, and he has a whole video on YouTube, like more than 2 hours long, talking about how he doesn't think that she just walked into the freezer like that, like that somebody lured her in But sadly, in the footage, you can't see anybody else. So there is a possibility that it could have been edited. She was missing, yeah, I want to say for more than 24 hours. So maybe they had a whole day to do. But that's a lot of footage. I don't know.
Yeah, especially if, like, I think it's possible, especially if they have a lot of money and they could just snap their fingers at somebody and say, I'll give you this amount and just do it for me.
But this happened in 2017 and it's kind of resurfacing, at least on Conspiracy TikTok.
Out of all the conspiracies that you've actually named or talked about, that one seems believable.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention one important detail. Selena Gomez has a song called Fetish, or a video, music video Fetish, and she filmed it in a freezer. I was so depressed when I saw that.
How sick.
She's with a rapper, I think, featured in it, and she's
Fetish.
like dancing around in the freezer and she even lays on the floor, and it's just very disturbing. That family did end up suing the hotel, and they ended up getting compensated like a couple million because of negligence.
Well, yeah, I mean, they didn't try to look everywhere in the hotel. Like, if you're saying there was a part, like, to have a restaurant, they didn't check there, you just said.
The only reason they started paying attention to them was because the mom and the friends started knocking on every door in the hotel room. Because she had called 911 and they said, oh, you have to wait. And so then the daughter eventually put the search, like, missing person. And then after that, they were just knocking on each, have you seen this person? Have you seen this? And then a friend, I believe, ranged one of the fire alarms, and in hopes to get everybody to leave and maybe to check the rooms. And that's when the hotel people were like, they're causing disruption. And that's when the police came and stepped in. So if it wasn't because their family and friends kept saying something is wrong, she might have not been found.
That's tragic.
I'm like, I don't know if I should keep doing conspiracy theories because these are pretty sad.
Speaking of celebrities, who's your guys' dream celebrity guest?
I think Gary Vee.
Who the heck is Gary Vee?
He's an entrepreneur, businessman.
His journey has been something that is similar to what we have, which is like a family-owned business that started small, and he scaled it, and then he ended up venturing off to do his own thing. And he started like a media marketing agency that helps other businesses, reach the masses. So, I mean, his experience, his energy, his work ethic, like, I think his insight, his ability to understand platforms, I think it'll be like a very, very constructive conversation, and it'll bring a lot of value to our industry, because I would completely be hyperactive into conversations about the taco industry and what his thoughts are on that, and how to create content and how to grow business. Is it possible to scale a catering business, like all those. So I think if I can pick to have a guest, it would definitely be Gary Vee.
I could imagine Gary Vee be like, your content isn't growing because you suck. Gary Vee is a good one.
It's crazy because like Gary Vee is very big on what's trending. So literally, all we would have to do is be like the next talked about thing, and as soon as we're that, like we have access to him.
I think once we go big, we enter this clip. Michael saying he wants him here.
Like, well, I've been wanting Gary Vee to be in my podcast since day fucking one.
I actually think Miley Cyrus would be an interesting person to have over. She seems to have good conversation, and she's also a really good vocalist, performer. She's been in the industry for a really long time. And her dad was also a musician, or is a musician. So
I think I'd be shy to talk to her.
No, she's amazing.
I think I would want, if
she
it was a celebrity.
Have like that star power in her. And like I've met celebrities, but like I think I'd be shy to speak to Miley Cyrus. And like her voice is like
very deep.
This woman is just badass.
Yeah. And she's very confident, so I think I would like to talk to her. I like a lot of musicians and public speakers, but I think Miley Cyrus would be one of them.
I'm surprised you didn't say Michael, Johnny Depp.
You're having questioning. He's questioning. If it had to do for business purposes, I think he would pick Gary Vee, and if
Yeah.
it's entertainment, probably Johnny Depp.
I would want to see Millie Bobby Brown. She's been popping recently because she got married. Congrats if you see this. No. And I love her because I saw her getting interviewed by somebody. And she said that she has like a whole farm and stuff. She has a lot of animals. It's crazy. Anyways, I like her because I love the way how she acted in Stranger Things. Like, that show blew my mind. And supposedly, another conspiracy theory you should look into is that.
You can talk about it.
Well, I don't know much about it. I just remember just seeing it. But supposedly that show, also, something similar happened in real life where back in the day they would test children in a factory. I don't know where. I don't know if it's true. I just saw it on TikTok, but I usually just don't pay much attention to it because it might not be true. But yeah, I like the way she acted in Stranger Things, and I can't wait for the new season. It's also coming up. I don't know when. I forgot. I like watching movies. I like if I had to bed rot, couch rot, I would rot watching movies. And she's made 2 movies. I loved how she acted as well in Dad's Mill. Love that movie. And then recently she did a movie with robots. I would want to be a director and watch the behind the scenes of how people act. Like, I would enjoy that. Maybe she's my generation.
She looks old as hell.
Michael, don't put that.
They look like they're in their 50s.
Michael.
Show them that picture.
No.
Tell me.
Are you sure that's her?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure she's in her 30s now.
No. You guys are messed up.
She's not?
She's 21.
That picture did not do her
You guys are
justice.
so
Oh my gosh.
tough.
You was there?
She's a very mature woman.
Ain't no way this woman is 21.
You guys are messed up.
Look, did you see her?
Yes.
You're-
I know she's
you're-
younger because she's around my age. I'm
You're
20.
you're about to be 21 and you don't look like that.
Look,
These people look older than me and Jocelyn.
Imagine they're lying about her age.
No.
Well, it's not my concern.
But recently, she's been getting bullied because she looks too mature for her age. And you guys are bullying doing the exact same shit. So,
Now I'm gonna look it up. Where's your Google?
Is her age really that important?
21 years old. What? Millie Bobby Brown looks like she's 43.
So on Saturday, March 15, 2025, Trump has invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798.
Damn.
dun, dun, dun.
What does that mean? So it allows deportation of natives and citizens of any enemy nation without any hearing.
Oh,
It
shit.
has been invoked 3 times: the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II. But hours after Mr. Trump invoked that wartime law to target Tren de Aragua, a federal judge ruled the law could not be used to deport 5 Venezuelans. So
What's the name
I
of the
think
gang?
it's being very extreme. And I'm gonna tell you why it's being very extreme. Because he's already deporting people regardless of them having a criminal background or not. And I have a case. But essentially the gang is from Venezuela, so he's targeting with this law, he's targeting anybody who is from Venezuela. And I think it becomes a problem, and this is why I think it's being blocked, because when he invokes this law, it means that he can just deport anybody that he wants to deport. What is so funny? There's this case that happened in February where a Texan family was going to do their scheduled hospital visits and appointments with their daughter, and she was recovering from cancer. So she was going to the hospital periodically to do checkups. Her parents were detained at a immigration checkpoint, and they were with like 4 other kids, and the girl is 10 years old. She's a U.S. citizen, and essentially they ended up deporting all of them because the parents had to make the choice. They either, if they leave her here in the United States, she's a 10-year-old, and a lot of their children are kids, teens. If they leave them here, they go into the foster care system. They wouldn't go to family members because they're not prepared, obviously. And that's just the law that they have. Or they have the option of them going with them. And I think that was probably better, that they went with them. But sadly and tragically, the girl is not able to get her treatments or checkups because she is in Mexico. The parents had done the same trip at least 5 other times, passing through immigration checkpoints without any issues. They were separated, so the mom and the daughter went together, and then the other children were with the dad. What do you do in those situations? Is it fair? Probably not. But when you invoke these laws, they allow for anyone to just be picked up and get deported, whether you're a criminal or not. And so if Trump's goal is to get rid of, people with criminal background, why is he also doing this to people like them? They weren't doing anything wrong, basically, what I'm trying to say.
I think it's a net positive to be stricter on immigration.
Well, I think there's ways to be
So
stricter.
far,
yeah, I mean,
like,
there has, I
ever
think
since
before,
there's been less people that have been immigrants that have been coming here to the States ever since Trump was inaugurated, because he's getting stricter on the border.
mm-hmm.
Right? So when you have less immigration, like, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know anymore. Because I think,
like, if you're a citizen, you're gonna have no problem, quote unquote, right? But if you're an immigrant, you can't come in. If you're illegal, you can't come in.
I know you have to go through a process, but a lot of times, for example, if
To
right
apply
now
for
we are at war
seek
with
asylum.
Venezuela, nobody from Venezuela is able to come in. They can't, if they can apply, but they're not going to get accepted because we are at war with them.
Yeah.
So even if
that's for national security.
So then what happens to the families that actually need the help?
So what would you do if you were president and you were in that situation?
I don't know. I don't have a solution because I think immigration is something that nobody has ever provided a solution for.
Well, other
this
countries
country
aren't.
is built on.
Yeah, other countries are not so big on
because
immigration.
Nobody really goes to those places as much. It's not easy.
No, but like other countries are not even welcoming for you to go there. But when you
they don't like Americans.
Yeah, but when the U.S. is strict, like, is it really a problem?
So then you're okay when right now that Mexico is becoming more strict?
I don't care.
So
it's their rules.
Yeah.
Like, they can dictate. It's their house. Like, the second someone tries to come into my house, they're gonna subscribe to our rules. And that's the same thing. Like, if the people voted for Donald Trump, the people voted for the president of Mexico, the lady, the woman, right? So whatever that party decides to do, like, everyone just needs to go with it. It's not really like a matter of question. Like, he's guiding the ship. And if we don't like the way these politicians are guiding the ship, in 4 years, like, it is, you owe it to your benefit or to the country to vote in a different direction, right? But you kind of have to see through their plan.
Well, to me, it's just problematic when he's saying that he wants to get rid of criminals. And to me, this family from Texas has, from what I research and what I know, they're not criminals. They were just a normal family with American.
Yeah, they committed a crime when they came here.
With American children.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. They committed a crime the second they came here illegally.
I don't.
That is considered a crime by definition. Like, it may not be something that compares to someone who deals drugs, or someone who is a rapist, or someone who murders people, right? But the second that you cross the border illegally, you commit a crime. Those parents made a decision to come here illegally. So now everyone that was here illegally needs to bear the consequences, if there are any, whether you are a lawful abiding citizen or whether you're out there committing crimes, you need to face the consequences that come with that. Like we're not just gonna pretend like we're gonna go into a different nation and be able to do whatever we want. Like we need to pay attention to what the rules are. And if we get caught, we're like, damn. It's kind of like me as a street vendor, as a taco caterer. If I'm operating without a business license, without a permit, without insurance, that is my choice. And then when the consequences arise, it doesn't matter how much of a good person I am, how amazing my parents were, and the type of individual that they raised. I'm breaking the law, quote unquote. And whatever consequences come with that, I need to accept. I may not like it. It may affect me financially. It may affect my ability to be able to provide and pay for bills. I understand. But I made a decision, and my decision has brought consequences, right? And then just because the laws are not favoring me, I'm not going to hate a specific politician. And so I think it's a very important conversation to have. I'm not saying that in this particular situation it was the best way to go about it, but they are a product of a much deeper issue with immigration. How do you guys feel about the economy? Do you guys keep up with it?
I don't like it. It's too much dinero. I remember a bag of chips used to be less than $1, like 25 cents. And then it went up to $1, a bag of chips. I remember because I used to eat them in middle school with my cup of noodles.
Oh, so inflation. Yeah, remember we were in the Pasadena store?
Mm-hmm.
The small bag was 25 cents.
I knew it! I knew something was less than $1.
And then when we left, it was like a couple years later, the last I saw it, they were 3 for $1. You used to get so much value.
Sometimes 4. But I also think those were not allowed to be sold for individual sale.
Do you guys
Before.
Chips?
The small ones, the small bags, it said in the box, do not sell for individual sale.
Oh, the small ones?
Mm-hmm.
I think I know what you mean. Like, get more than one, right?
No. I don't know if now it's changed, but
I don't see those
before in the box, when you buy the small bags, it says it around the box, not for individual sale. So that's why maybe like when you go to the 7-Eleven or other convenience stores, the smaller bags, they don't have it. They only have them in like markets.
I've never actually noticed them.
I haven't seen little bags of chips ever.
And like the vending machines, they don't have the small ones. They have like they're longer.
Yeah.
They're smaller, but they're long. The bags are longer.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I feel that I've noticed that the plane tickets have been more expensive. Booking for abroad or just nationally, if you're traveling to Mexico, you probably have more fees. The Mexican president is becoming more strict with American citizens. But at least nationally, when you travel to another state, I felt like they're kind of expensive.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I had no idea what was going on. Like I would just wake up, go to school, do my homework, come back, play video games. If I was in a sport, I would play my sport. And during that time, it was around the 2008 housing crash, and there was just a financial meltdown. Everything went to shit. And so many people were affected by it, and it was all because Wall Street was gambling. And so I look at it right now. There's so much market manipulation happening. When Donald Trump started announcing the tariffs, like the market keeps tanking. I think he's like purposely inducing a recession. And these next couple of months, like it's something that we're gonna start seeing. And so like I think it's just interesting. People are just going about their lives like living normally. It's a very, very, very good time to hold on to your cash and expect rainy days because like I don't know, like it's part of like, I know it's like a part of a bigger plan, a bigger picture, but it feels like the market is purposely being tanked.
I don't think people are going about their lives. It seems like that, but I don't think that's the case.
Crypto in specific, Donald Trump announced that he was going to do a strategic reserve for crypto. And they were going to talk about it in the summit. They're going to hold a crypto summit in the Capitol. Right? So when he announced that, the markets pumped. But then immediately they dumped. So it was like a buy the rumor, sell the news event. And when the day of the crypto came, the summit, they didn't speak about it. Everyone just gathered around. They talked more about the World Cup and showed the trophy for the World Cup that's happening next year more than they did about talking about the future of crypto. So that is market manipulation. And we've been seeing a lot of that, right? And this trade war that is happening is affecting the stock market, is affecting crypto, it's affecting businesses, right? So for example, Tesla, right now this trade war has really affected companies in the automotive industry because now it costs more to build a vehicle. And so if it costs more and they have less money to go around, they're going to start laying off people. And what Doge is doing with the government, all these layoffs are happening, right? Right now, recently, I think I saw on TikTok that 10,000 USPS workers from the mail are going to get laid off. Or whatever Doge is doing, the audit that they're doing, or whatever. And one sector is always going to get affected the most. I don't know what it's going to be. There's certain economies in other states, for example, Texas and Florida, their housing is really, they're going to see a correction. So for sure, stocks, crypto have been plummeting. Some neighborhoods, some cities are going to see houses go down.
But not a lot, not by a lot, I would say.
It'll be
the
significant.
area, no?
It depends on the area, but in theory, it's not going to be a lot because what happened in 2008 is a big correction, and it was only like 30%. So that's insane. If something of that magnitude happens again, which I don't think it will, it could potentially, and it could even be worse. I doubt it, but 30% is nothing. Like imagine that $1 million home is now 700,000. Like, woo!
Corriendo, right?
So you're gonna buy?
Running?
I don't think you can.
The problem
that wouldn't
is
be wise.
It's when
no,
later
no,
on
it would.
goes higher.
No,
huh?
it would. If there's a big correction, yes. But the problem is that whenever
You don't
there's
have a job.
yeah, when there's big issues like that happening, the biggest problem is that our industry feels it, right? People aren't going to be celebrating. They're not going to be hiring vendors, and especially a vendor that is considered higher end. And so that is something that I've been seeing. There's a slowdown. Yeah, there's a slowdown.
Are you gonna lower the prices or never?
No, there's no need for it. But
Go book. Nah.
so
Hire me instead, and I'll lower the price.
no,
No,
years
hire
Jocelyn's
me and I'll
catering.
only charge $20.
so far, March is looking slower than what it was last year. But like I've noticed that there's less quotes being requested. There's less people booking, and so obviously that also could have to do entirely with our business. Like maybe we're just not doing well. But I'm seeing that the market is going to start bleeding, and there's going to be a sector that's going to give, and when that expect a recession. But the problem is, like, we are in a consumer-based economy. So the economy relies on people spending.
Mm-hmm.
And what is something that drives spending? Confidence. So you have to feel comfortable, you have to feel confident in your finances. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, because of this trade war that Trump is talking about and doing, it's not giving consumers the confidence to go out there and spend. Mm-hmm. And so ask around, like your friends, your families, like people are spending less. Yeah. And so eventually, like if things like this continue to happen, these narratives, these crazy narratives, because it's excessive. Like, come on. Trump's like, oh, 50% tariff on 25% on Canada, and then Canada threatens to cut off electricity, and then he's like, okay, 50% tariff. You know, that's excessive. Right, that is a trade war, and so
he's like playing.
Like I don't, like I've been to social gatherings, like I hear the conversations, the lingos, and like I talk to friends, and I genuinely feel like people are just coasting through life and they don't really understand. And sometimes I wish I had like a network of like business owners from multiple industries so I can like talk to them about it, see like how are things doing from their end, because right now, like, it's just weird. Like, and here's another interesting thing. I think out of the last 13 recessions or something like that, 12 of them happened under Republican presidents.
Did you hear that Trump wants to do the 200 bill and put his face on it?
$250 bill.
Oh, there you go. That. Sorry, I forgot.
Did you hear about that, Jocelyn?
No,
I
thank God
did.
I didn't.
I did. I
About
found that
that-
interesting.
About to have a bunch of Trumps in my pocket.
I would want one.
But printing money is not a good thing.
Why?
Because it will cause inflation, no?
Paper?
Because you will have an abundance of it, and that could be problematic.
That's why it's high interest rates to combat the inflation. But when inflation gets to a normal rate, a normal percentage, I don't think it is. And I think the number that the Fed says is not right. It's not accurate. But if they say it's at a good percentage, then what they're gonna do is just continue to print more. Like, hyperinflation is a bad thing, but inflation is good if you own assets. So your stocks, your crypto, the value of your property, all of that is going to go up. And so I think, to Jocelyn's point, what ends up happening is the gap between the rich and the poor just gets bigger and bigger. And so eventually, and I think we're actually headed towards this, the gap for you to actually make it and be wealthy is getting more difficult to do.
Just alone buying a house, especially in a popular city, is getting pretty much impossible to do so.
I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. Like, it's a very interesting time. Like, I've been patiently waiting since the start of 2023. So now we are at year 3, and nothing has happened. 2023, nothing. I started noticing the slowdown, but nothing happened. And then 2024, I was off to a bumpy start, like to the point where we just had 1 gig in January. I was like, holy shit. But then the end of the year ended up bringing in one of the highest producing years that I've had in the longest time. And then the start of 2025, there's been a lot of good news with crypto, a lot of good news with Trump being president, the economy, and I started off the year a lot better. Year to date, we're doing a lot better, but I've seen and I witness, because I am involved in crypto, a lot of market manipulation with this narrative that's going on.
You have a fear or phobia of something? An irrational fear?
All right, waking up in the middle of the night with anxiety. Like, just having a panic attack, anxiety attack.
What kind of panic attacks? Like, what do you think about?
So the feeling that I feel, it's really hard to explain, but
That's crazy.
you know when you fall,
Oh yeah.
you're like, oh, but that feeling stops instantaneously when you get a grip of yourself. You're like, okay, you're safe. But imagine that same feeling of you falling continuous, repeatedly, over and over again. It's
That's
just
crazy.
that's how I feel.
Have you had a dream falling down? Yeah, I hate it. I woke up. I went. Like, I fell, but I woke up.
Is that your irrational fear?
But it's like my skin gets like, ooh, just to seeing the bumps of it. So, show Jocelyn. Stop watching it because it's gonna come up on my For You page. You saved it?
What is that?
That's what I'm saying. Okay,
Like
guys.
barnacles.
Oh!
I like that.
I don't know if you guys can see it
So
from here.
basically something stuck to your skin.
But basically, Michael put on one side of my wall flowers. And this specific flower looks like that. And like the first few weeks that I was looking at the wall, if I stare at it for too long at the flower, it scares me. Like, it made my skin crawl, is what I'm trying to say.
Giving me
Itchy.
itchy.
Like right now, like right here. Not itchy. I don't feel itchiness. I feel tingles running through my whole arms, my face.
Growing up, I liked Barbie dolls and everything, but I do not like the muñecas. Like the ones that have the eyes and then just like they close. And if when you have them in display or just collect them, I think it's creepy. Several products that are used for treating acne have been recalled voluntarily. The FDA issued an announcement on March 11, 2025. And the reason is because they contain product benzene. It's apparently carcinogen, and brands such as like La Roche-Posay, Proactive, some Walgreens brands have been taken off the shelves. That's scary though, because now like you can't just put things on your face or your skin in general without fearing cancer. Thoughts?
Our clothes are cancerous, so.
Yeah, sadly, a lot of the clothes are made out of polyester, which is plastic, and that is not good for your skin, as well as like the dyes that they use to dye the clothes. So it's recommended whenever you can to buy cotton, wool, silk, but I don't know if anybody has the money for silk. Just actual real occurring fibers. But polyester is not good, or synthetic fibers are not good.
Also, we're not supposed to be wearing deodorant. How did people back then in Egypt or wherever Jesus used to live, they would walk miles out to the desert? I don't know if it was a desert, they would just walk. How would they not stink, or what would they use in their armpits?
You're taking it back, way back.
Still, like we're all humans. We all have odor.
Well, there's natural ways to omit the odor, such as using lemon. That's something that's very popular. Te pones limón.
Yeah, but I'm saying this to the people out there. Like, we're not supposed to be wearing deodorant.
Yeah, because
your
deodorant.
natural BO, you'd be attracted to a guy's BO.
Yeah, that's a good way to know whether you will find a good mate, is if you could smell them when they're
when they smell
sweaty
stinky,
or when they smell and you
you're
like
like,
it, then that's a good way for you to know that you're compatible. Same thing with them. So in terms of like mating, it's not a bad
Stinky.
thing. In fragrances, also they disrupt your pH.
So everything causes cancer, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Small levels. I think the problem becomes is like, for example, you're drinking out of a plastic bottle, water bottle, and then you're using plastic.
Yeah.
And then you're using lotions and other substances to
Have
clean.
you guys watched I Am Legend?
No. What is it a movie or a series? What is it about?
Somebody finds a cure for cancer, and it goes terribly wrong.
Oh!
It turns them into like mummies.
Then no, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
I've seen it. We should
should
watch it
Watch
today.
it tonight.
Yeah, where was it, on Netflix? Or?
It's a good movie. It's one of those movies that is well written.
It's crazy. Like,
It's-
how do directors come up with this?
Have y'all seen I Am Legend? Let us know down in the comments below.
That's a crazy and scary movie at the same time because it's just one survivor.
Are we moving it on to TikTok?
Antonio asked,
Did he really?
what did we eat for dinner?
No way. Did you ask that?
What did you eat for dinner? Actually, you haven't eaten, huh? What are you going to eat for dinner?
Probably caldo.
Earlier today I had caldo. Caldo de res with a quesadilla. Cool. How's it going, brother? Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to double tap the screen. Ooh, pita. Thank you so much for the donation. So we just finished filming the 5th episode of our podcast, GuacnChippies. If you guys have any questions and would like to participate in the episode, now's your chance to ask away. Got any stuff to do tomorrow? Yeah. Do you have anything to do tomorrow, Jocelyn?
Edit the podcast and
Yeah, tomorrow's a
work. I mean, don't we have the 100 plus event?
Tomorrow we actually have a big day. We're going to cater a St. Patrick's celebration. So it'll be for 175 people. I'm excited for that. Stuff prepped or you do it day of? Yeah, no, most of the stuff is prepped for tomorrow. Like I chop the onions, the cilantro. I dice the onion for grilling. And Jocelyn peeled all the avocados, and then the meat's already butchered. Tomorrow we're just gonna show up, cook all the meat, make rice and beans, finish up making the guac and the pico. But It's gonna be pretty chill.
Andy 1K says, "Are we living in an illusion?" Illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Truffle Boy said, "Que pasta." Truffle Boy 314 says, "What?" I think this is what he means. What is a bomb salsa for tripas? Would you say red or green sauce or salsa molcajete?
Green salsa.
Green salsa for tripas?
Yeah.
Why?
Con chiles de mata. Some good tomatillo. Ajo, cebolla, sal, comino, un poco de clavo.
Licuada o al molcajete?
Como venga.
I don't really
Hello.
like tripas, so I can't really opinionate. Marshall says, "If you were not in catering, what would you do?" I'll answer. So when I was in part of the catering business, I was working in television, broadcasting, news, local
You still do
news,
that?
and social media. I would probably be working for someone doing social media and content creation, because even after I ended that, I was still doing that. What would you be doing?
I'd be a corporate lawyer, honestly.
It's más like
Or a
corporate.
banker. Banker, Wall Street.
You're still deciding.
Head and shoulders.
It's because I'm a business major right now, so I'm debating if I would still do that right now. Like, even, like, stick with it.
Yeah, or maybe I'll do a career change. Haven't decided.
I don't know,
This fool's crazy.
because this is hard to decide for me. Because I want to be an art major. Well, I wanted to, so I don't know if I would do that.
Adult film star.
But honestly, I would want to, oh,
Cool. Yeah, that was
maybe work for the FBI. Anyways, I would be,
Mom, estás en
I don't know,
cámara.
this,
No
man, no
muevas,
muevas.
Y por algo tan.
Let her get
As
a,
I was
a bag of
saying.
chips.
No.
Oh, she got a bag of chips.
Yeah, she almost
No.
sacrificed our camera spread.
Marshall is wondering, what do you like about catering?
Meeting new people, like, or seeing new people, new
TSA
cultures,
agent.
trying their food. For example, Filipinos, we've catered for Filipinos, and they would just give me all their food that they had. Because Filipinos tend to have not only one set of set of station, but they would also have like tacos and their culture food.
Arab people do that too. They have like variety of food. For me, I think it would be going to different locations and places that I've never would actually go to. So we get to go to Calabasas sometimes and go through the gated community. Also, I think one of the neatest things that we did was when we went to the cater on that beach, with the beach, when we were in the beach in that private community. You can only get there if you know somebody. That was the coolest thing.
I do also like seeing the big houses, like that the doors are taller than us.
Michael, do you have a favorite thing about catering?
Yeah, being able to provide for my loving family.
Cole Alvarez is asking, do we do Lent?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but
Are we allowed to say
one of
what
the years I was more strict about it. This year
I think
I'm
we're
being
so strict on it. I mean,
I'm being a little more lenient because, and it's not a good thing. I'm not encouraging you guys to be.
That's for-
I'm just not. I didn't really give up something 100%. Like yesterday,
Asparagus.
I didn't eat meat, but I had chicken.
I don't think you spelled it right.
You're not supposed to eat chicken on Fridays either.
Nope.
I'm
Well-
being, I guess, strict about it, if you want to say it like that. Cause I haven't eaten meat on a Friday, and I did give up something.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was gonna give up
Stop
coffee,
touching my
but
hair. If not, you're gonna.
it didn't last.
It's curly
Right away.
hair.
yesterday Michael got us filet o fish,
Yeah, I got it.
and I had it today
Yeah, I
for
got him a
breakfast.
fish
Oh, there
sandwiches
you
tomorrow.
go. I had a Philadelphia.
I mean
fish
tomorrow,
today
yesterday.
for breakfast only, and then after that a bagel, and then
He
now
said
Guac.
asparagus.
That's all I'm
Cole,
gonna eat.
I thought it was only red meat too, but I don't know. Have you tried any new coffee shops lately?
No, because
lately-
we have a coffee
What
machine.
the heck? I just got a $10 charge on my TikTok.
$10 charge.
I'm going to look into that. Why
Lately,
would they
no, I
charge?
have not
There's no
tried any-
subscriptions, right? That's
any
weird.
coffee shops. I've been wanting to because I
You
got,
got charged?
a message from one of them, and
You should check
they
it
said
out.
they would give me free coffee. Can I take you on a date?
Love lengua tacos?
Probably
I love
not.
it.
Jocelyn.
Can they take you on a date?
They were asking you. This is your account.
Can they take you on a date?
Oh, is that like a general
Me?
question?
Yeah. You guys can take me on a
No,
date.
I'm not ready.
Do any of you see yourselves living outside of LA?
Yes. Oh wait.
Sometimes, yeah, lately I have. Maybe not like, but I mean like a whole state or maybe even
Yeah, no,
country.
I think I would leave California.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
think I will live in China.
It's a shame that right now California is very, very good to our business, but I see myself leaving for sure.
Valley Girl says, does being coworkers get hard, and do you ever consider a career change? Yes.
I'm just kidding. I've been known. But
It's definitely challenging. I have thought about career changes, but I can't decide on what. But I definitely wouldn't want to. I know for a fact that I would not want to be in the medical field, and the reason being is I also value my freedom, and I feel like if you're working in the medical field, you don't really have that. Like you're always being
I
called
just
on to
realized that is
shifts,
open.
etc.
How is
I'm
it
chill.
living with sisters?
See, Valley Girl understands what I mean.
They're so emotional.
When you are a doctor or in the medical field,
Look at her. She changed the
You're
tonality
always
of her voice, and I'm
working.
just sitting here chilling.
you're always working. Like you can't breathe, even when you're becoming a doctor. You have to study all the time. You have to be at shifts. You're underpaid.
Okay, so if you don't have a job like that, that means it reflects your pay. You're probably getting paid
No.
minimum wage.
So
right?
then why do people in tech get paid all this money and they're not
Okay, they're
stressed?
still fulfilling
When
an
we used to go to
obligation.
Clutter and all that, like the people working the engineer jobs and just being on the computer, they didn't seem stressed.
So what does that have to do with anything?
That's
Do
what
you
I mean.
know how to be on
And
like
they
a
I've never
timer?
met a doctor that
and
looks
they
stressed.
had a little bit of freedom in a sense
Because
that
they know what they're doing. If you're in a job and you don't know what you're
they
doing,
leave their
then you're gonna
desk.
have
They could
stress.
work remote if they want to.